What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Grenader Jake here, and today I'm going to talk you through my experience grinding through Destiny 2's update, The Forsaken, how to get to max power, even though I'm only 592 at the start of this video, but I'm going to kind of take you through my experiences of leveling up, how it's been over the first 3 weeks of The Forsaken, different tips, different strategies, and different ways that you can really set your goal of 600 and you can achieve it. Keep in mind, this is just my experience. I am not using YouTube. I am not using Google. I'm not searching through Reddit trying to find answers for you. This is my 3 weeks of experience. This is my 250 hours of playing this game. This is all the things that I've learned uniquely. So there might be some things that are a little bit incorrect in this video, but I can pretty much guarantee that almost everything I say is going to be spot on perfection because I've played the crap out of this game. But again, please bear in mind, there might be a little bit of information that you realize months down the road is a teeny bit incorrect. I really don't think that'll be the case, though. Let's get going with this video. Let's get you guys to 600 power. Now, throughout this video, I'm going to be referring to things as +1s, +3s, and +5s, and things of that nature. First, I want to make sure you guys understand exactly what I'm referring to. It's regarding the overall power of your character, not the specific piece of gear you might be referring to. So, in this case, as a 592, if I'm saying I'll get a +1 drop from something, that drop is going to be 593. If I'm getting a +3 drop, it's going to be 595, etc. You're going to need to understand that we're talking about the overall power of the character when referring to +1s, +3s, and +5s. Now, you guys might be curious, what the hell is a +1? What is a +3? What is a +5? Well, they're the drops that you get from powerful rewards, and unfortunately, powerful rewards are not consistent. There's a lot of people who think they're getting screwed over because what the heck, that my powerful drop was only 1 higher than my overall character. Or some people get confused and think, whoa, my drop that was powerful dropped as a 593, but my helmet's 595. Like, that was actually a -2. No, it was a +1 because it's regarding your overall power. It just might not have connected with the appropriate piece of gear you needed to level up. But that is how it works. That is the RNG. That is the luck of this leveling system in Destiny. At the very beginning, once you pass 500 power, pretty much everything is going to be a high power drop, meaning +5s and things of that nature. Once you hit 520, you'll hit a bit of a soft cap. You guys might need to understand what soft caps are. Soft caps are a way of slowing down your progression. You can still level up, but just a little less quickly. At 520, some of your drops that used to be +5s will turn to +1s. At 540, that will happen for the Nightfall. What used to be a +5 drop will now turn to a +1. At 580, that will happen for the Raid, and that will happen for your Petra weekly bounties. Now, I was unfortunately the guinea pig a lot of the time while leveling up in Destiny 2 Forsaken. I was the first to get to high power a lot, and I would be testing out things and realizing, uh-oh, this turned into a +1. I should have done this sooner. There is a lot of strategy around understanding when things are +1 and when they're +5 and things of that nature. And what I mean by this is because you know now that at 540, the Nightfalls turn into +1 drops instead of +5s, what that means you should do is make sure you're doing the Nightfall when you're 539 or 538. If you're leveling up your character at the weekly reset and you're 538 or 539, do the Nightfall. Do not continue to do other things and get to 540 before the Nightfall, or your Nightfall drops will be less important. Same is the case with Petra and with the Raid. My experience with the Raid so far, when I was a 580, the first 3 encounters dropped +1s. When I was below 580, all 3 of those encounters dropped as very powerful +5s, +7s, +9s. Once I was 580, only the Vault and the final drop that you get for killing Riven and getting into the heart, those are the only 2 drops that were powerful. I believe that no matter what your power is, even if you're about a 595, those final 2 stages of the Raid will always drop very high +5s or more drops. But before hitting 580, make sure to do those other 3 checkpoints. If you're anywhere near 580, get those checkpoints out of the way. Get those Petra bounties out of the way for the most efficient leveling of your character. All right, let's quickly talk about Prime Engrams. And this isn't actually going to be focused on strategy more just information for you guys through my first 3 weeks of Forsaken. What have I learned about primes and how they function in the game? First things first, primes I believe drop at +4 through 7. What they land on is random. So when you get a prime to drop, you can hope it's a +7 and hope it's not a +4. It can fall anywhere in between. And this also is true once you've hit high power. My drops as a 592 are going to be between 596 and 599. So they are still very powerful, very beneficial, even once you start getting really close to that 600 max power. So the way that primes seem to work is it's based on your account and your characters individually, and it's based on how many primes you've gotten in total. And what I mean by that is back in week 1 of Forsaken, when primes were new, when I was first starting to get them, I'd be getting them about once every hour and a half maybe. And when I went on to characters that hadn't done them, there would be more that I could get per day. There's a buff called Prime Attunement that you get at the start of each day on each character. If you play on each character each day, that Prime Attunement will likely fade away after one prime drop. And what I mean by that is if you leave a character alone and don't touch it, that Prime Attunement's likely not going to go away. It's going to stay there for a long time. You're going to be able to get a lot of Prime Engrams to drop for you. However, the longer that you play, the more primes you get in total on your entire account, the longer it's going to start to take for primes to drop. At least this is what it seems like is happening for me. I'm getting a prime now after 3 weeks of Forsaken about once every 4.5 hours. It's kind of insane. So even if my Prime Attunement doesn't go away, I'd have to grind about 24 hours a day to get enough primes to force it to go away. So the longer that you're playing, the more primes that you get overall on your account, the longer it's going to take to get each individual prime. So it's a little bit strange. And again, this isn't a strategy talk that I'm giving you right now. This is just an information burst for you guys. Primes drop faster at the beginning of your grind. They slow down as you progress. It's very strange and not very fun, but it is the way that it functions. Each character has kind of like a set amount of primes they can get. So if you're grinding like crazy on one specific character, you might actually run out of your Prime Attunement buff. But if you're switching between 3 characters and you're getting them to drop once every 4 hours like I currently am at this point in Forsaken, you're pretty much never going to run out of that prime buff. Keep grinding, keep playing. In my opinion, my recommendation, never specifically grind just for a prime. Always take that 2 birds, 1 stone mentality. Do an activity that's benefiting you in another way and also giving you a chance to get a prime. Whether that's grinding Crucible rank, whether that's doing Gambit because it's fun and you're grinding Gambit rank, whether that's strikes to collect tokens and complete milestones. Make sure you're doing activities that are actually benefiting you in more ways than just seeking a prime. For example, if you already have all the Escalation Protocol guns, do not go into Escalation Protocol simply hunting for prime engrams. It's boring, it's lame, it's not what you should be doing. Do something else, do a 2 birds, 1 stone, or even better, 3 birds, 1 stone mentality approach. You'll get primes, it just might start taking a while as you progress through Forsaken. Now let's talk about overall strategy for which activities you should be doing to help increase your power. Let me make it clear right now that this video is not going to talk about which activities are +1s and +3s and +5s. I've already given you some information on that, but there's other sources on the internet that can help. And because the activities will vary based on what your power is, it would take me a long time to get into the details of that, and this is not the video for it. However, this is the video to help you strategize once you learn what are +1s and 3s and 5s. Strategize and figure out how to get to 600 power the most efficiently. Let me use my 592 Hunter in front of you as an example for if the weekly reset were happening right now, what would I want to do first? If you look at my gear, and I can actually hold left trigger to show you, everything's pretty even besides my cloak. My cloak has fallen way behind all of my other gear. What does this mean? It means I should begin with +1s. It means that because I have something that can benefit so greatly from a +1, which in my case would be a 593 drop, 11 higher than my cloak. Because I can benefit so greatly from that, I should start with +1s until I get that cloak. Now let me take it out of my specific situation into a more general situation. If you have pieces of gear that are falling behind, or guns, doesn't matter, if you have things that are falling significantly behind the overall average power of your character, you're going to want to make sure to be doing those +1s first. And everybody's kind of given on the internet and through Twitch and whatnot, everybody's kind of giving this incorrect information of you always should do +1s first. Always do +1s, then 3s, then 5s, then 7s, blah, blah, blah. Like, always go from lower to greater. In general, usually that's actually correct, but there are times when that is very, very obviously not what you want to be doing. You want to be doing +1s when there are things that can significantly catch up. If your gear is pretty much all even, stop doing +1s. You need to separate your gear. You need to cause a gap that will allow +1s to start helping again. Let me try to explain in a little bit more detail. Let's say in a perfect scenario, you are 590. Everything is exactly 590. Every gun, every piece of gear, it's all exactly 590. Don't do a +1. It won't benefit you. It'll make some of your things 591. Big whoop. That barely does anything. Do the raid. Turn in some primes. Do something that's going to give you a big old +5 or more, because that's going to cause a separation in your gear that will allow the +1s to actually benefit you more. So, what have I just explained? If your gear is turning equal, maybe not perfectly 590 everything in that example, but let's just say it's all getting close together, that's time to cause a separation. Do an activity that's going to cause a big separation. A tier 4 blind well also is a big +5 through 9 drop until you're 580. Do a tier 4 blind well. Do your Petra bounties if you're not yet 580. Do the raid. Whatever it is, cause a separation in your gear before you continue to do those +1s. Another very important thing you must understand if you want to get to 600 power is the importance of having 3 characters. And not everybody has enough time to have 3 characters, but it's very beneficial for trying to achieve the highest power you can. When you have 3 characters, you can do something that I like to call the seesaw effect. Your highest character can drop a bunch of really high gear that you transfer over to your middle character, that you grind more milestones on, that you then transfer to your lowest character. And by the end of the week, the seesaw effect will likely have your characters flip-flop positions. Your highest character, imagine a seesaw, will go down to the lowest character, and the character that originally was the lowest at the start of the week will then be the highest. If you are using the appropriate methods of flipping your guns on over to your other characters and making sure you're avoiding doing certain activities like we discussed earlier at the incorrect power, in other words, if you're 538, do the Nightfall now. Don't wait till your other character makes you 540. Do it before then. If you do those things correctly, the seesaw effect by passing guns to other characters can greatly benefit all 3 of your characters. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching today's video. I hope I helped you learn something about how to get to 600 power in the most efficient way possible. Please let me know if you still have any questions. I do have a Twitter. It's @GrenaderJake. I also have a Twitch, which is a much better place to get in contact with me. I'm live about 50 to 60 hours every week, and it's so easy to jump in my chat and ask me a question. I will see it. I will respond. You can literally get a live response to your question within minutes right now by going to twitch.tv/GrenaderJake. If I'm live, ask me the question you want to know, and I'll make sure to help answer it. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Good luck with the Forsaken grind, and I'll see you probably in December for a whole lot of trials.